As temperatures outside are breaking records, inside of Texas prisons, the heat is brutal and people are dying. KSAT Investigates has received dozens of emails from loved ones of inmates pleading for help. Texas does not require air conditioning in its prisons.
Recently, a rally was actually held in Austin called 85 to Stay Alive. It is pushing lawmakers to allocate funds to cool Texas prisons. Despite that community support, Lee Waldman explains it's a problem not being fixed.
You can see the heat waves outside of the barbed wire fencing. It's over 100 degrees outside, but inside the walls of Texas prisons, it's even hotter.
He's been through a lot in his life. The choices he made, yes, but this is inhumane. This is unacceptable. And yes, I'm worried about him dying.
This woman didn't want to be identified. She's worried about backlash her son, who's incarcerated, might face.
Very physically and mentally exhausting.
She's not alone.
Well, it says a lot.
Savannah Eldridge has a brother in prison in North Texas. Eldridge says her brother tells her about the sweltering heat inside as well.
I'm concerned that not just my brother, but many of the incarcerated men, there are people dying in their 30s.
So far this summer, 8 inmates and 15 staffers have required medical attention for heat-related injuries since temperatures started rising. A representative with TDCJ says none were fatal, but the Texas Tribune reported this month that at least 9 prisoners have died since mid-June, while heat indices were in the triple digits outside.
We have, during the summer months, someone that has succumbed to cardiac arrest, that has succumbed to seizures or another emergency, and they did not have a history of that.
We pulled recent death records of 3 inmates, all under the age of 50 without underlying conditions. In each, the cause of death is listed as cardiac arrest.
It would really be prudent to check the core body temperature, and that would be a better indicator of who actually did succumb to heat-related issues.
Since 1998, at least 20 TDCJ prisoners across Texas have died of hypothermia or heat stroke, according to TDCJ data. 10 in 2011 alone resulted in lawsuits filed by family members. But just how hot is it inside these walls? Texas A&M University researchers Carly Purdom and Benita Dixon set out to find out.
You have a temperature that's taken in one space every day, but what we need are multiple temperature points throughout the facility, and it's difficult for us to get access to that kind of data.
They collected available TDCJ data and surveys from inmates from 2018 to 2020 and found that temperatures regularly reached 110 degrees inside prisons and peaked at 149 in at least one unit.
We had one individual says, during the hottest part of the day, I feel dizzy, see stars, and feel like I'm going to vomit. My hands and feet swell, making my use of limbs limited.
In 2018, it was made a priority to add air-conditioned beds and respite areas where prisoners can get access to cooler temperatures for 10 to 15 minutes at a time.
Incarcerated people are describing it's the same thing across all of the units. We see the same pattern, is that they're frequently denied access.
In May, the Texas House and Senate reached a deal on a $321.2 billion 2-year spending plan. With Texas having its largest surplus in budget, lawmakers are giving the Texas Department of Criminal Justice an additional $85.7 million to be used in 2024. That's on top of the $4 billion for its regular budget. A representative with TDCJ says that money won't go towards cooling temperatures inside. I asked TDCJ to sit down with us and speak about heat in prisons. This was Director of Communication Amanda Hernandez's response. When pressed as to why, she said they're answering questions via email. She explained they're prioritizing cooling beds, adding 9,459 over the last 5 years. With over 100,000 incarcerated people in TDCJ prisons right now, and only a third of Texas prisons with full air conditioning, tens of thousands are left to suffer in the brutal heat.
Do you know that the dog pounds even have air conditioner? But the state of Texas prisons don't? That's pretty sick.
There's been proposed legislative changes for years. This past legislative session, Representative Terry Canales out of Hidalgo County proposed House Bill 1708, which would impose temperature requirements inside of Texas prisons. but that bill didn't make it out of committee. However, he has made several pointed tweets at Governor Greg Abbott about those living conditions. In one of those tweets, he called it, quote, government-sanctioned torture.
Obviously, this affects the inmates in there, also the people who work in these prisons. There's a question about humanity, which, was touched on in your story, but cost as well. How much would it actually cost to air condition these prisons?
That really depends on who you're asking that question to. So if you ask TDCJ, they'll say about $1 billion to cool all of its uncooled prisons, which is more than 70% of them, which are not completely air conditioned. However, during a 2017 lawsuit over high heat in the prison unit near College Station, that cost estimate to cool that unit was inflated to $20 million and then fell to $4 million after the state then settled and agreed to install air conditioning in that unit. It was an 80% decrease to the original cost estimate.
All right, I want to ask a question. I want to clarify really something here. When someone dies and it's a heart attack, they don't take their core temperature, correct?
In this current data that we can see based on TDCJ reports through the Attorney General's office, no.
Right, so they can't tell whether it might have been heat-related. They just know it was a cardiac arrest.
And it's hard to tell if someone has a heat-related death unless you are doing that body temperature check at the point of death. It's hard to tell. Even our medical professionals not working with incarcerated people can say that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Texas prison regulations. There are prison regulations. Then there are Texas prison regulations. Do any of them basically require humane living conditions or something like that in writing?
So if you were in a jail, there is some kind of regulation in place. So back in 1994, there was a provision passed that required Texas jails to be temperature controlled, keeping them between 65 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit in all of their occupied areas. But again, nothing specifically written about TDCJ. So once you're sentenced to prison, no requirements. In 2018, after a years-long lawsuit and the state of Texas shelling out more than $7.3 million in legal fees, TDCJ agreed to cool down one geriatric unit near College Station. There have been other lawsuits filed, dozens of other lawsuits, specifically following the deaths of at least 10 in-prison inmates in 2011. According to the Texas Tribune, Texas has spent $6.4 million legally representing TDCJ in heat-related litigation since 2011. So over the past few years, there's been another $10 million paid out in settlement expenses for wrongful death lawsuits for prisoners who have died of heat stroke. So if you're looking at the cost it would take to cool these prisons, we're spending it arguably in litigation afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked at the start of the story about the 85 to Stay Alive rally last month at the state capitol to try to make changes here. Any other similar efforts planned to push for this?
So just announced today, there actually was a similar rally that's planned. It's going to be in August. So the woman you saw in our story, Savannah Elridge, she said that they're planning a prayer circle and candlelight vigil outside of the governor's mansion on August 11th at 8 p.m. They're hoping to persuade him and other political leaders to call for a special session in order to mitigate the heat risks in prison. If you want to watch this full story again on Texas prison heat, go to our KSAT YouTube page and also follow it here on KSAT12.
Clearly you don't want Texas prisons to be cushy. You want them to be a place that people don't want to go to. But when it comes to that one temperature of 149 degrees inside, that maybe's crossed the line there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people just want their loved ones to be able to serve their time and make it out alive after they've served that time.
Yeah, and the people doing their jobs inside of these places as well. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. The record-breaking heat not stopping volunteers from helping people get the food they need. Now, all the food comes from the San Antonio Food Bank or donations, then it's given away. Our Camelia Juarez shows us how volunteers are making sure that food is delivered fresh and cold this summer.
Every Wednesday, year-round, hundreds of cars line up at the River City Community Center parking lot near Retama Park, waiting for a helping hand.
You hear them say, how thankful they are that we're here and how much they appreciate us being out in the heat or in the wintertime.
The church serves nearly 350 families every week, and that number grows by 25 people every week.
The people keep coming, and we every week have new applicants.
Serving that many people year-round means protecting volunteers and the food from extreme temperatures.
Our volunteers were struggling, and we just knew that they needed some kind of relief.
Volunteers start giving out food earlier in the morning to stay cool. Fans are lined up for the volunteers, coolers for the food.
So we do our best to keep it super cold, so people are receiving frozen food still.
To help volunteers combat the heat, they bought this canopy so that volunteers will be shaded while distributing food. They also have a lot of water on hand.
Lots of sweat, still lots of sweat, but less sun. The canopy helps a lot.
As one of the largest food distributors in our area, Rick Marcantel says they're in need of more volunteers and food donations.
We have to stop thinking so much about ourselves and thinking about the people around us.
To learn more, go to our website, KSAT.com. Kamala Juarez, KSAT12 News.
Just seems like there are countless businesses, groups, organizations that are making adjustments this summer to try to deal with this heat.
Yeah, and helping out any way they can. I love that the record-breaking heat, people still need the food, especially in the summertime, Adam.
Yeah, and any way to stay cool any way possible is what you have to do. I noticed somebody working on one of the water lines in the neighborhood, and they had a nice tent out with the battery-operated fan pointing down on them. Yeah, it's something. At least provide some, smart shade and a little bit of airflow. Today, high temperature of 102 officially at the airport. That's 1 degree shy of the record. Del Rio hit 106. New Braunfels 103 and Gonzales 104. Cotulla 105. More triple-digit days and records likely to fall. We'll talk about it in a bit.
All right, so we've talked about our streak. We've talked about our 100-degree days. How many other ways can we say it's really hot outside?
It's toasty, right? I mean, I guess we could say it. I usually don't like saying toasty. I don't know why. It's just one
I don't feel like that does this summer justice.
No, it's sizzling.
Burnt toasty.
Yes. Yeah, it's crispy at this point.
It's kind of toasty. You smack on the counter and it snaps, right? Yeah, more triple-digit days on the way. We've had 37 100-degree days. That puts us in 5th place all time, and we have all of August ahead of us. So let's take a look at our temperature trend. 103 tomorrow, up to 104 Friday through the weekend. Now we're thinking even 105 for the temperature Monday and Tuesday. Of all of those highs, 5 of the 7, we're expecting to tie or exceed the record high. Now you look at the high temperatures across the nation today. 78 Salt Lake City, a little elevation, and of course clouds and precipitation there. But you really see the red area, Oklahoma, East Texas, and even northwestern Louisiana. And that's where we have the heat high, the upper level high pressing down on East Texas there, and even Dallas, 106 for the high temperature. And that really just basically keeps us dry. It really doesn't help us generate any rain-making clouds. We have a few clouds out there, but it really prevents the good rain-making clouds. We were lucky yesterday with that teeny little ripple in the flow that snuck its way in underneath the high, but that was an exception and it still didn't help us out a whole lot. This high, though, is good positioning for the desert Southwest. It's monsoon season there. It's just kicking in. And with that high over us and even East Texas, that opens the door for some of that Pacific moisture to stream in, and it goes all the way north, just about to the Canadian border there. So that's good for them, but their spigot's getting turned off as the heat high builds over northern Mexico and parts of Arizona and New Mexico. That's where it's going to be centered. So that puts us in that northwesterly flow aloft. Doors open for a little disturbance. We just don't have a little disturbance within sight, at least not at this point. We can look to the tropics. We don't have any tropical moisture out there headed our way. 10% chance of development east of Bermuda, minimal odds, and that's moving away anyway. And we go to the Pacific, Hurricane Dora moving away from North America. In this area of 70% development just south of Mexico. Right now, no indications that's going to throw moisture our way. 101 right now, dew point is 62. Feels like it's 2 degrees warmer than the air temp. Dallas still 105. That's the same as Del Rio. 101 at the airport here in town. I mentioned Castroville 103. Rio Medina just updated to 99. And this evening, our temperatures will gradually be falling through the 90s, then upper 80s by midnight. 12 a.m., 88 degrees. A decent southeasterly wind at 10 to 15, so that'll keep the air moving a little bit if you're outdoors. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., 79 degrees, right near 80. By the afternoon, we're up to 103, which would tie the record for the day tomorrow. But down in Laredo, 107, Cotulla, 106, Fredericksburg, even 101, Canyon Lake, the high temperature of 102. All in all, we're generally speaking in the low 100s, and this trend is continuing, and we're really just going to add a degree or two in the days ahead to the record challenging heat.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
We'll be right back with your 60-second recap. San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers put out a reward for 2 people who left a newborn outside of a church. That newborn was outside for hours and is okay, though. This is now prompting child safety advocates and the fire department to remind people about the Baby Moses law. We have a breakdown of that law on KSAT12. The San Antonio police investigating after a man was shot during a robbery happened this morning on Blanco Road near Jackson Keller. The victim taken to a nearby hospital in critical condition. The suspect drove off in a white SUV. Metro Health updating its COVID-19 dashboard this week. Over the last week, there has been an increase of 916 cases. UT Health officials say COVID is here to stay, but due to herd immunity and vaccinations, we shouldn't see levels like we did in 2020. Happening tomorrow, the Spurs will be making an announcement on a major partnership. The news conference set to start at 11 a.m. We expect it has something to do with Frost Bank and naming rights. You can watch it live on our KSAT digital platforms. That's your 60-second recap.
Well, we made the top 5 now. It's not something we're necessarily proud of, but 37 100-degree days, that puts us in 5th place, and we still have the rest of August and September to go.
Thanks, Adam. And thanks for
You're
watching.
welcome.
Thanks for watching.
I don't know that I've ever heard Adam that glum.
Yeah.